Welcome to episode 246 of the Reptile Gumbo podcast. By the way, 245 has not been put out yet. Someone has slacked on that. I'm going to blame Katie.
Why?
Because I don't want to blame myself. So, 245, if you're here listening to this now, you probably were here last week to listen to the other one. So, but it will get put out. Speaking of episode 245, we had Rob on from Rocky Talkie, and then I joined Rocky Talkie's Patreon. And look, I made this amazing black and white tegu.
That is fabulous.
This thing, it's fucking awesome. Its mouth opens. Hold on, wait. I'll show you. I took it to school today, and everybody thought I was holding a real lizard. It is maybe the most amazing thing I've 3D printed at this point. So
I don't know. My Wally downstairs is pretty cool.
This was definitely less of a headache than that Wally. So there is that. So just showing up. We had them on last week, and then I printed that. Now I'm in the process of printing 2 rattlesnakes. And then whenever those finally finish, I will print a Gila monster. I'm excited about printing a Gila monster.
And at some point, you're going to print stuff to sell at shows, right?
I'm going to sell all those things.
You're not selling all of them. Some of it's going to Robert.
Oh, I'm not going to say that on here. That's going to sound wrong if I say it.
Isn't Robert getting one of the snakes?
He's going to get one of the rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
I think that was supposed to be a surprise, Katie.
Yeah.
Bullshit. There's no way you didn't know about this.
He didn't know I was giving it to him.
What? Son of a bitch. You have to tell me these things.
Or you could keep your mouth shut.
No. There are no secrets between friends, but apparently there was this secret and I didn't know.
Never mind. Be quiet. You sure there's no secrets between friends?
I don't know what you're about to say, but I will kill you. I don't know what it is, but you look like you're about to say something very ugly to me.
It's not ugly.
No, I don't know what you're about to say, but we are live on the podcast.
Okay. I'm just saying.
We will talk after the podcast.
You can't say there's no secrets when, like, you don't tell folks. Never mind. Yeah. I didn't say nothing.
I don't know what you're doing.
I didn't say.
The 4 people watching are about
nothing.
to watch spousal abuse.
Old Stanley side. I don't have a green kill belly to print. He hasn't made. It's a lizard.
Oh, okay.
If I had one to print, I'd print it. That's a cool one to print. I'm working on getting them all. I did print some reptile cool stuff. Like I printed these little signs that people can buy to put on their venomous reptile stuff. These were fun. I actually got some.
You made those, like you designed those.
Yeah, and then I got some Pet G red. So now I can do this whole thing on a Pet G because my yellow Pet G is better looking than this one. So I'm looking forward to printing those and some earrings and stuff. So 3D printed steaks. I know they can 3D print meat. I know they have that.
This is gonna piss me off. I've wanted steak for 3 days, by the way.
All right, well, let's grind up some hamburger and throw it in the printer over there, and I'll print you a ribeye.
I have barbecue
I had steak last
downstairs.
night, and I'm going to cook some more again tonight.
I've been barbecue potatoes for dinner. If the potatoes will ever hurry up and cook.
Today was my 1-year anniversary at my job, so I took myself to lunch.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got going on lately. Anything else? I know I've got. Oh, let's do sponsor stuff. Katie, go. Go. Katie, go.
Lil's Shop of Horrors operates a commercial feeder breeder facility based out of San Antonio, Texas. They specialize in rats, mice, dubia roaches, Madagascar hissing cockroaches, and more. As feeder breeders, they focus on the nutritional needs of the animals that consume them. Nationwide shipping is available on live insects. For frozen rodent shipments, reach out to check availability in your area. They also do weekly meetups throughout South Central Texas and are aiming to expand their meetup locations this year. So follow them online to keep up to date with their meetup schedule. Feel free to check them out on any of their social media pages at Lil's Shop of Horrors or through their inquiries page at lilsshopofhorrors.com.
Also,
My sternum still hurts from where I got hit earlier.
okay, I need you to phrase it before you hit yourself earlier.
I may have hit myself.
Not May. I did not hit her. She walks up to me and goes, my chest hurts. What happened? I hit myself.
I was trying to open an Amazon package and I was trying to rip it towards myself and ended up clocking myself in the sternum instead. And
I don't have
it
to beat my wife. She does it to herself. It's fine.
It's so bad.
Just individual spouse if she abuses herself. Also, check out VivTech products for your LED UVB bulbs. If you haven't used a VivTech LED bulb yet and you're still using those curly Q bulbs, what is wrong with you?
Why do you hate yourself?
Just stop buying curly Q bulbs that after 6 months you can't use anymore, and even though they give off light and they're a waste of money, go buy you a VivTech LED UVB bulb and use that thing forever. I mean, at least 4 years, but I'm betting it's more. So go get one. Use code Gumbo22 to save 15%. So if you haven't done it yet, use code Gumbo22. Go buy one now. Save 15%, and then you won't have to buy one of those stupid bulbs from PetSmart. Stop buying stuff from PetSmart. Just stop. It's too expensive. So go check out VivTech products. They're good people. Also, Herb's Reptile shows. Let's look at what's coming up soon. We've got Longview, Texas this weekend, January 18th, January 19th. Our buddy JT will be there, right? I think John Grant's going to be at Longview. Yes, Robert? No, Robert?
What? I'm sorry.
Not even paying attention. JT's going to be at Long. Oh, there we go. Go see Grant Family Exotics at Longview. Conroe, Texas. Come on out to Conroe, Texas, January 25th, January 26th. I know I will be there. Still have no idea if Katie's going to be there. Yep, that's a good answer. I will be there with the booth set up, doing interviews. Come see us. I also need to take. So I know I suck. Okay, just once the school year starts, I don't get shit done. At some point, I will get all of the video footage from Carpet Fest together. And
I thought you worked on that over Christmas.
With what spare time over Christmas?
When you were in, you were in here doing 3D printed stuff.
Yeah, it'll come out. But I am going to take the gimbal that we got and our camera and my phone, and I'm going to do some interviews at tables, at booths with people with have some cool stuff. So I want to do some in-show little interviews, and I'll put those out as well. So some little interviews from Conroe. So come out to Conroe. I may have some boas there. If anybody wants to come buy boas, please come buy boas. I need to sell boas. Come to Conroe. Then Corpus Christi, Texas, February 1st and 2nd, which are our guests tonight from down that way. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, March 1st, March 2nd. Bryan College Station, March 8th, March 9th. Rosenberg, Texas, which I still won't be at because I'll be at a freaking wedding.
Yes, you will.
For people that are already married.
Yep.
March 15th and March 16th. Look, guys, it may not be worth getting married. Because then you have a wife that makes you go to shit that you don't want to go to and miss out on reptile shows. It's just saying. I
planned our wedding around a reptile show.
Pretty sure I planned our wedding around a reptile show.
I got Disney, so I don't care.
Slidell, Louisiana, Herb Show is April 5th, April 6th, and Austin, Texas, Herb Show is April 26th and 27th. Speaking of shows, I will be at I don't know, I shit on the name all the time. I apologize, but I need to sell stuff. I'll be at the Repticon show in Houston, technically Pasadena. February 1st and February 2nd. So if you're in the area, come out to the Repticon show and again, buy a boa, please. I need to feed baby boas tonight, so hopefully they're ready. I have those 2 surprise litters of sand boas, and I need to get those things going so I can sell them because I'm tired of feeding boas. What are you doing over there? No one is paying attention to me. I'm just sitting here and ramble for a while.
We'll bring our guest in.
Okay.
She was my idea.
Then why don't you reach out to her?
Because that's what you're good at.
Yeah, that's what I had to do.
I was also pretty sure I was driving the car at the point.
No.
Oh, I was. No, I was reading a book in the passenger seat, and I said, "You should get Amanda on. We can talk about sea turtles."
Yeah.
But it was still my idea.
Yeah, was it?
Bring her in, James.
Anyways, our guest tonight. Hold on, where's I lost my mouse. There it is. Our guest tonight is Amanda Terry from the Texas Sealife Center. I had to get it. It was a lot of words. You had to get it right.
Yeah.
How's it going, Amanda?
Busy, tired.
This is her busy time.
Express, but
yes.
But we're good. We're good. Yeah, it's cold. This weather is still super crapo. I hate it here, and it's only gonna get worse. But we're good and happy to be here. So thank you guys, whoever brought us in. I'm not gonna take sides on this one.
Well, apparently, like there's been people in the Discord or people message James or commenting like, "Oh my gosh, I bet Katie's so excited," and I'm like, "It was my idea."
Well, we had Amanda on like, was it 3 years ago now?
It's been a while since we've been.
It's been a minute. I was at a show. Yeah.
It was at the Corpus show several years ago at this point.
And then after the show,
so
go
Amanda,
ahead, tell the story.
Amanda, you've probably made Katie happier, and I'm gonna take slight offense to this.
Oh no,
that's okay, because that Chinese alligator downstairs you love more than me.
You made Katie happier than she's ever been about anything. She was happier about that than seeing her own kid for the first time.
It's very possible.
Us getting married.
In my defense, I was having a lot of health issues at the time, and I had just had a C-section, and then they like tossed her at me. It was bad.
No. you took us to go see the sea turtles at your center, and she broke down into tears immediately.
I didn't know that I was going to get that close to a sea turtle.
I mean,
was not expecting that.
Yeah, we're up close and personal.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, well, good. I'm glad that I made your happiest memory.
I'm getting emotional now thinking about it.
Besides your kid, like I don't know.
Nope.
But in my defense, I did cry like 4 times in the Wicked movie, and I've cried every time I've seen it on stage. I cry at commercials on TV.
Yeah,
oh,
Wicked movie, Hot Mess Express, for sure. Me too. I feel you on the Wicked movie.
So, bitch. So if you're up, we're back.
Oh, we're back
Thank God.
super fast.
I didn't last
this time.
long.
Yeah.
We haven't had an issue with internet for a while, and then
Oh.
I got a new computer. I need to get my new computer set up so I can do it for just the podcast and see if that works.
Oh yeah, that was the whole point that you got that too.
Yeah, I got it. You know, things keep happening.
Your mom got it for you.
But hold on, I gotta answer a text. Katie, talk.
Why are you answering a text for what? I'm so nosy. I'm like,
You're
who's
fine.
texting you?
You're good. Just-
Oh my gosh.
Are you crying over
I
there?
just said I got emotional thinking about going.
Wicked and sea turtles make us both emotional. I get it.
It's too much.
So-
It's too much.
So for somebody that started listening in the last 2 years and hadn't heard all the way back then, let people know about the Texas Sealife. So kind of just the rundown of that, and then we'll get into some of the things that you've got coming up or that you've had coming up because of this weather.
Okay, so we are a wildlife rehabilitation facility. We do sea turtle, shorebird, and raptor rehabilitation primarily. We have been involved with the Herps reptile shows since I don't think we were there in the first year, but we've been there a long time. So and everyone's great, and we always welcome all of that. We're primarily wildlife rehab, but we're also very reptile oriented, and we love reptiles. And so the pet trade, the wildlife, we do it all. So yeah, and so right now we're dealing with a cold sun event, but we'll get into that. So
yeah, I don't know if you still had. I know last time we were there, you had what I think is one of the coolest birds, is the caracara.
yes, we still have Artie. Yeah,
It's such a weird bird. It's hard to explain to people, and I always tell people, just imagine like an eagle had sex with a parrot, but then it eats like a buzzard.
that might be the best explanation that I can never use on a tour ever in my life. Yeah, because they're super smart. They're so smart. They are more like a parrot. Like you have to, in their training and enrichment and all that, you have to treat them like a parrot. But they are a raptor, but then they also eat dead stuff. They eat carrion. So you nailed it on that one, buddy. I will give that to you.
Because it's funny every time I've ever seen one, they're on the ground, and like you just don't like it. It took me a while to realize, oh, that's because they eat dead stuff. Because you would look at it and go, yeah, this is probably like an eagle. It probably catches things and eats things, but
and they will eat, but they're opportunistic. They will easy meal. They're gonna go for the easy meal for sure.
And the number of people that are around here that go, I saw a bald eagle. No, you didn't.
No, you probably not in South Texas, because they're very few and far between. But
speaking of bald eagles, I got an email the other day that the bald eagles in Kisatchie National Forest in Louisiana are back.
After some of them died.
They have a webcam that's set up on the eagle nest, and they have had a new set of eagles move into the nest. Because last year,
or one of them died last year.
Last year, the female died.
She got like, sick and died.
And yes, like they noticed on camera that she wasn't well, and by the time they could get to her, it was too late.
Yeah.
Which was devastating, because my students and my zoology club kids had watched like her laying eggs and raising babies, like the whole thing. And then like all of a sudden the cameras are disconnected, and they're like, what's going on? Why are the cameras? I'm like, well, maybe like she got big. And then my sister sent me the whole article about it, and I was like,
did the dad continue to take care of the nest, or did he abandon it?
Well, the babies were gone at that point.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
babies they weren't there anymore when she
Okay.
died.
Okay.
Because I don't remember them saying anything about losing babies.
No, I don't
Yeah.
remember that.
Oh yeah, they would have. Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, well, good. I mean, not good that she died, but good that.
Yeah,
the
I am
babies
glad that there's
got-
another set there.
Yeah, Seattle side. I think it's funny that Canada's full of bald eagles, but it's our bird.
Yeah.
We claimed it. We're like, hey, we have it. It's ours. So they're on loan to you right now up there in the Great White North. But that's funny whenever you watch like why did I just go blank on the crab show? Deadliest Catch.
Uh-huh.
It's like seeing crows or like buzzards.
Oh
Just-
yeah, no, they're like a nuisance bird. Yep.
Yeah, it's
Up
a weird
there.
thing to see that,
Yeah.
and then your entire life you grew up with they're endangered. We have to protect
Yeah,
the
they're
eagle.
so awesome. Yeah, no, they hate them there. Yeah.
But so yeah,
You don't hate them here.
you've got a lot going on right now. So I know it was several years ago we had was it the freeze when that happened and
20
Max came down
Yes.
and
It was
filmed.
2021 was the bad year where we
Yeah.
took the animals offshore and sent them down the chute. I'm sure some people have seen that video of turtles going down the chute. We took them offshore. We got 14,000 that year. Hopefully we won't get that this year.
Wait, hold on. How many turtles?
14,000.
That's too many turtles. That's way too many
Yeah.
turtles.
Agreed.
Isn't
Agreed.
that crazy?
That was considered to be a whole population event. Like that.
Yeah.
That was the whole population of the whole Texas coast.
Where-
And so not us, but like the whole Texas coast got
Yeah.
14,000.
How many did you have in your facility?
800.
Holy
at
shit,
one
'cause that's
point.
not a big facility.
No, it's tiny.
That's
Yeah. You wouldn't believe we can cram them in. The floor is turtle at that point. But yeah. So and we were also dealing with a water main freeze. No water, no power. The bridges were frozen. Yeah, there was a lot going on that year. I have PTSD from that year every year. And hopefully it will not. I'm hoping it will not be that bad this year. I don't think it will be. But yeah, because also then at our own personal house, we were without power for 7 days.
Oh,
So
damn Texas power grid.
I know, right? Stupid.
Now I'm
So-
on it. I wasn't on. I was on Louisiana back then. I'm worried every time it gets cold. Now that I'm here, I'm like, oh,
Oh
shit.
yeah, it's total PTSD. I think it's better, but yeah, it's so it's gonna be a big deal this week, but we're dealing with it. We have about 130 turtles right now at the
I
center.
can't fathom that. I've been there, and I can't fathom 130 turtles. That just seems like a lot too. So then you're telling me you had how many the ton of them before? I'm like,
800, yeah.
yikes.
Yep. It's and we can take a lot more right now, but we're being conservative, and some institutions have released turtles, but we just didn't feel like it was the best decision to release anybody this week
I mean,
because
you got
of
Tuesday coming up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
for anybody else, so yes, we are in Texas, and everybody goes, it's hot in Texas. And I get it. Our cold is not the same as look. Seattle side's up in Canada. Your cold is cold, but we're not prepared for cold, and
No.
neither are our animals.
no.
And so we're on Tuesday. It's supposed to get like 28 degrees, 27 degrees.
No, the low, I checked it literally like an hour ago.
Changed again.
So Tuesday, they're now saying that the low is 23 and the high is 32
Fuck that. That's too cold
For you guys or for
for
me?
where we are in
for
Houston.
Houston.
All right,
So-
I will check. I'm gonna check right now. On
Because
my,
And we're supposed to
There's
get
also,
precipitation, like
there's
70
also a
something percent.
70% chance of precipitation.
yeah, it's gonna be miserable.
My question for
I
that
hate it
is like,
here.
because everybody's like, we might have a snow day Tuesday.
No, we'll have an ice day on
That's
Tuesday.
great, but I'm worried about Wednesday when the high never gets over 32 on Tuesday.
Yeah. So Tuesday, we're looking at down here in South Texas 39 for the high and 29 for the
Yeah.
low and 40% chance of freezing rain.
Yeah.
So at what temperature do y'all start to see turtles popping up?
50.
Fuck. Okay, so you're
Yeah, we're gonna get them.
you're screwed for a couple of days there. That's a lot of turtles.
We're screwed because from Sunday, next Sunday, not oh yeah, no, this Sunday.
Until like Thursday or something like that.
Yeah, through Thursday. Yeah, we're gonna be getting turtles. So
Oh man.
Yeah.
So I guess for everybody, I guess we'll back up and explain how this. So how does that process start? Like, do they just wash up on shore? Do people find them floating out and boats pick them up? How does that whole process start with you getting turtles in?
all of the above. So because turtles are ectotherms, they take on the temperature that's around them, and so they just go into kind of a coma situation, and they just float at the top. And then it's usually when the fronts come in, it's usually also really windy, so they just blow to the wherever the wind is going, and hopefully drift up where they can breathe, because they can't even pick their heads up at that point.
Gotcha.
So but we do have a lot of local, the public here is great. We have Cito is amazing out here. And usually SeaWorld San Antonio sends a boat down. Penn's Potter Island National Seashore is out looking. We have a lot of local and a lot of duck hunters, because they're crazy and they go out in these cold temperatures because they love it. Weirdos.
Yes, we are. I've done that a lot.
And they're great. They always bring me everything. I've gotten messages and they're like, "We'll be out next week," and I'm like, "Okay, love you, mean it. Like, why are you doing this, you weirdos?" But it's a lot of public effort. It takes an army for sure.
Yeah.
Because there's gonna be so many that we can't do it by ourselves. So
trust me, when we're out there freezing our butts off and the ducks aren't flying, we're questioning our sanity as well.
Hey, it's not crazy if it's working, but when it stops working, that's when it gets crazy.
Right. Yeah.
When you're standing there waist deep in 20 degrees and the water's in the 30s, and you realize this. I mean, you're in neoprene waders, but it's still cold.
Yeah, it's because we used to do, before we were a main intake facility, we used to do patrols, and that was miserable. Like, I can't imagine being out on a boat anymore. Like, I'll stay in the warmth and take in the turtles, but I can't do that anymore. Yeah. So I have utmost respect for the duck hunters and the Citos and the everyone that's out there doing the work, because that's how we make it a success.
So how cold can they get? I guess for how, I don't know. There's a lot that goes into that, but how cold can they get before, like, oh no, they're just dead turtles?
I was going to say, at what point do you have to step in, or should you step in, or people for that matter?
My point is, at what point do they die? Like, I mean, drowning obviously will kill them, but like, at what temperature?
But I mean, but even before that, like, if I'm just going for a walk and I see a sea turtle on the beach, what do I do? Like,
yeah,
pick it up.
So if it's below 50, if it's below 50 and you see it,
yeah,
obviously it's not okay.
And that's always for any wildlife, birds, turtles, anything. If you can catch it, then it's time to intervene.
That's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah, because if you try to catch something and it flies off or swims off, then you're good. But if you can catch whatever it is, then it's time to intervene.
Yeah, because if they're in the water, sea turtles are not slow. So
no,
you should
they're
not be able to catch them.
Yeah.
How many species do y'all tend to deal with down there?
Species? The only reason I know this is because I'm working on my end of year permits. We had 42 species last year.
Okay, I had no idea that. Okay.
And that's birds and turtles.
Birds and everything, yeah.
Yeah.
How many turtle
So
species are there?
there are 5 species in the Gulf.
All right, let's see. I can see if I can do yeah, green. Green
Yep.
turtle.
Mhm.
Kemp Ridleys.
Yep.
Loggerheads.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
2
we
more.
don't have leatherbacks, right?
Thankfully, no.
That's math. That's a huge. There's
So
no
take that finger
No,
away.
okay. Hawksbill.
Occasionally, yes.
Green Hawksbill. Kemp's Ridley. What am I? I'm missing like an easy one here. What is it?
Oh wait, now I'm confused.
Green, Kemp's Ridley, Loggerhead. Just there a second ago. My brain was blank.
Oh no, so you're right. The leatherback is considered in the Gulf, so you can your pinky
okay.
can be.
Have you ever had one?
No, thank God. No.
I mean, that's like a small car. When they're
Yeah,
full grown.
it's the size of a VW. Yeah,
That's
A bug.
a lot of
Yeah.
turtle to try and save.
yeah. No,
It's like-
and that's so usually I have seen photos of leatherbacks in South Padre. I think the water here is too cold.
Yeah.
So we don't the only evidence of them here has been either severely injured ones that need to be euthanized or they're dead. They wash up dead. So we have never had to deal with a
Trying to
live
house a small car.
loggerhead. Yeah, because
They're the ones.
we can
with-
yeah. we
They're the
can
ones
do
with the horrifying throat, right? The jellyfish eating throat with all the spikes.
all sea turtles have the
Oh, really?
horrifying spikes.
I was going to say they can all.
I
get
just
that.
leatherbacks are always the ones I see pictures of.
Yeah, but they all have that because they're all eating live food. So
Do you know the Texas state turtle or Texas sea turtle or whatever? Do you know which one it is?
I'm gonna go with green.
That one is what
not
I've
common.
read is very common. It's the Kemps.
Kemp's Ridley.
Mhm.
Okay.
because that's
Those
the,
two I knew.
that's the
but rest
one
of
that
them-
only nests in Texas
Yeah.
in the
That was-
U.S.
I remember when we were there, you had one because that was the small one,
hmm
and that was
Yeah.
the first time I'd ever seen one like that, and that was really cool because that's a cool little
Yeah.
turtle.
Yeah,
They don't
yeah,
get that
they're-
big,
yeah.
right?
no, they're the smallest adult size, smallest turtle. Yeah, probably 50 to 60 pounds, maybe. Don't
Yeah,
quote me
so-
on that, but
so-
yeah.
Big bag of dog food.
Yeah.
Weight wise.
I in a pinch could lift one. So.
About what, the size of like a trash can lid or something, like a.
Yep. They're small. They're
And then greens are probably your most common one, right?
Greens are the most common that we get, but we just get we don't get adults. We get the smaller ones. So
So
we're
are the adults farther out and deeper, and they usually don't have
Yes.
an issue?
yeah, and so they're all offshore or they're traveling back and forth from Florida because that's where greens and loggerheads primarily nest is Florida. So
Gotcha.
they're traveling back and forth. So yeah,
So how big would an adult green be if you had to take one in? What size is it?
500.
Holy shit, that's a lot of turtle.
Yeah,
Okay, I was
it
not
is.
expecting 500.
Holy hell.
Yeah.
Because like 500, I think like Aldabra tortoises. Like I don't think
Mhm.
green sea turtles. Because you always see green sea turtles at aquariums.
They're
but they
little
never
and
seem big.
cute. And
Yeah.
yeah. No, they get big. They get massive. Yeah. Not
that's a-
here usually, but yeah.
So what's the biggest turtle you've had to take in?
We are there. We had a loggerhead that was pushing 200,
Okay.
and then a green who was about 175.
So just to
Um,
throw this out there for people, fun fact: baby elephants only weigh between 200 and 300 pounds when they're born.
Yeah.
A baby elephant, and then the sea turtle
Well,
So-
that's
weighs. Oh,
not our kid.
sorry, we have alarm set to remind our kid when to get ready for bed and things. But anyways, but yeah, like 500.
Well, that's why when you think like leatherbacks, You're talking
Oh,
thousands.
it's massive. Yeah, we
Yeah.
could not. Yeah,
Like,
we
just
would have to
let that sink in for a second. Like,
I'm just picturing, because you've got those big tanks for them, and I'm just picturing a full-grown leatherback. Just it fits in the tank, like it's just
pretty much.
Right. It can only spin around in small circles.
Yeah.
just
That's
breakdancing in the
why
middle of
we're
the tank.
very glad we don't see those. Dude,
I feel like Amanda's like, come on. Whenever she gets a call for Charles, like, come on, Ridley, give me a little.
yeah, give me. I mean, I'm actually always for the little greens because they're a nightmare because they're super active and crazy. But yes.
So do you notice, like you just said, but do you notice a big behavioral difference between the species?
Yes. So the greens you can put them in together with each other. Loggerheads and Kemps cannot be housed together because they fight.
And I imagine that beak can do serious damage in a small space and they can't get away.
Yeah. And so greens, like right now at the center, we have 40 turtles in one tank, 20 in another, 50 in another. So we're lucky in that fact that greens are the ones that cold stun here because we can keep them together. But on the other side of that, loggerheads and Kemps are much more of a calmer species to have to deal with. Like,
Gotcha.
As far as giving them meds and treating them, like greens are crazy. Like, I'm happy to see them go. I'm happy to see them come and happy to see them go by. So, it's yeah.
All right. So with that, I got 2 questions about getting hurt by turtles. One, have you ever been bit by them?
Yes.
How bad is that?
Mine was a Kemp's that was about this big.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I wouldn't want it to be by anything any bigger.
So that's a pretty powerful, like, because they got pretty cutting jaws. They don't teeth. Or they don't teeth.
So
but
the
beak.
Kemps and the loggerheads, they eat shellfish. So they eat blue crabs, crustaceans. Like they're munching on some serious things.
Yeah.
The greens, they are omnivores primarily, so they don't have a super, but they'll go after you. But I've never been bitten by a green. But yeah, the Kemps baby Kemps that bit me. Yeah, I wouldn't want it to be any stronger than that.
And I know the answer to this one's going to be yes. I'm just curious how bad it is. Have you been slapped by one?
Oh, like every day.
I'm wondering how. Those flippers are not
Facebook.
soft.
Yeah, go on the Facebook page and look at any of our releases, and yes, everyone's getting slapped.
How bad is that getting hit by one of those guys when they just start flailing?
It depends on where you get hit. But yeah, it's bad because they also have like a little claw on their flipper, so not only do they smack you, but then they can also cut you. So yeah, it's
damn.
They don't mess around.
That part.
That's crazy. So
yeah, like they're little on their flippers on their anatomy. Their like thumbnail is like the claw, and it's used for mating. But yeah, it's intense. Sense. Yeah.
Man, I've seen when they start flapping, people hold them. I'm like, it is not a soft, fleshy like hand.
Oh
no,
no.
I just imagine it's like getting just smacked right across the face would be horrible.
Yeah.
So care wise, you get them in. How long? You're not trying to keep them for cold stun stuff. You're just trying to keep them until it's warm enough to put them back out, and you don't have to worry about it.
Right. Normally, this is a little bit of an abnormal cold stun because usually we would have released everybody. Yeah. But since we have this next one coming, we have held on to we're not going to release anybody. But usually as soon as the water, so the Laguna is very shallow.
Yeah.
So the temperature drops really quickly. That water temperature drops very fast. But then when we release them on the ocean side, which is usually, I would say, at least 10 degrees, 8 to 10 degrees warmer. So we can release them on that side, and then hopefully they don't make their way back. But this time it just wasn't.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out for us. So usually the window is like 2 to 3 days because it dips down and then it warms back up.
Yeah, so
you're picking up the last cold suns and sweating. So
200 turtles for less than a week is not miserable. I mean, it's a lot of work.
No, yeah. This one will probably be different because we're gonna have to hold on to these turtles for another weekish. I don't know how far the forecast goes out.
I saw, I think in like the week after, it's in like the 50s and 60s again.
Yeah. So the threshold for releasing at the beach is when the water in the Gulf is 56 degrees and rising.
Gotcha.
So that's not an unachievable. It's a pretty easy goal this time of year. So hopefully in the next week, I would say at this point 2 weeks, we'll be able to do a fairly good release.
So let's talk non-cold stun stuff, which you normally come across, because cold stun is a weird thing. We have because first off, just having the temps that low down here, and then having so many turtles at one time. But let's talk about some of the other. So who are some of the other turtles you currently have that are non-cold stun, that are there for whatever other reasons? What are some of the other reasons you have them there for, and kind of how does that work out?
So before any cold stun events, we had 11 turtles in our care.
It's just crazy to go from 11 to like 150 in like a day.
Right, yeah.
You're like, one day it's like, oh, this is doable, get all 11, get some stuff done.
Oh, yeah. So most of those turtles that we have right now, or we had before the cold stun, are the FP, the herpes virus, the fibropapillomatosis.
Oh yeah, they have those big masses on
them. Yeah. And
for people that don't know, it's a gross looking like mass that grows on it. And
we saw that when we were there.
Well, and it becomes like debilitating on some of them, right?
Yeah. It depends on where they grow. But yeah, it's
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good.
Because when we visited, you actually talked about how some of them actually have to have surgery.
Yes. Yeah. So now we're primarily doing only, because the tumors can grow anywhere, but primarily we're doing eyes and anywhere else on the body that's like if it's impeding their swimming, or on their cloaca where it's impeding that, we're only doing the most important parts, because it has also been shown that now they're regressing and they might go away. So
that's exciting.
That's good.
Yeah, it is. That's very good. And we're seeing a lot less FPs this year.
So is that I don't know. Is that just in contact with each other, or is it sexually transmitted, or is it something in the water? Do they all have it?
Do we know?
There's a lot of studies to still be done. I feel like everybody has it.
Gotcha.
And then it's during these cold snaps, they break with it. It's like any herpes.
It's like cold sores, like stressful
event. Yeah, stressful event. You break with the herpes. Yeah. So I feel like everyone has been exposed because it's the big ocean. Like
I was going to say, it's in the water, literally.
Hi, are you gonna come over here and join the podcast? My cat is like,
what's going on? I see an ear.
Come here. What are you doing? Come here. Hey, come here. Hi. No, you're not gonna join. All right. So yeah, I feel like it's everybody has been exposed. And it's just how do we, but I think they're judging from the numbers that we've had this year, for this event, it's far less. So that's a good thing. Or maybe they're figuring out how to
Or
make it better.
or maybe sadly the ones that are really affected have passed and
Right,
getting
yeah,
the genes.
and we've gotten some super affected ones because those are the first ones that always, because they're on the cusp and then it gets cold and they're like, I can't. But yeah, it's been far less this year, so hopefully we're on an upswing on that we don't have to worry about it.
So besides the herpes and the masses, what are some other things that bring them in?
For us, because of where we are, it is a lot of fisheries interactions.
Gotcha.
Fishing
like lying around.
Yeah. Because we have the jetties. I don't know how many of you have been to Corpus, but there's a lot of jetties and everybody can fish off of them, and then turtles or the line breaks and whatever. There's just a lot of waste fishing line. So I would say that is the next one, is fishing line for sure.
I fished a kayak tournament in Louisiana one year, and a guy thought he had a giant fucking redfish, and then he got into the kayak and it was just a turtle. He was reeling in a turtle the whole time, and then he had to try and unhook a turtle, and I was like, oh, I don't envy that at all.
Yeah,
they come up slapping.
And everybody's like, I don't hate fishermen. I don't hate duck hunters. Like, there is
responsible ones, or what
everybody does, and everyone's so scared of, like, I don't want to call anybody because I'm going to get in trouble. You're not going to get in trouble if you hooked a turtle. That's their own stupid fault that they got. Like, they bit the bait. Like, that's not your fault. So it's no. I mean, we don't judge anybody. I am not at all a part of law enforcement. I am not going to report you to anybody. Like, if you're doing your due diligence and doing the best by the animals, be it birds, turtles, or whatever, I mean,
yeah,
we're not.
Can't
we're
imagine
not
anyone has ever written a ticket for anyone catching a turtle as bycatch and then calling for help.
Yeah,
like that's never
right.
It's different if you caught a turtle and threw it in the back of your truck. That's a different thing.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I always say. Like, if you need to take a turtle home for the night and keep it in your bathtub, don't keep it for 3 weeks, but like, keep it. If you need to keep it for the night, that's fine. Like, just bring it to the appropriate. Yeah. No, I am not involved in any way with law enforcement. Like, I don't have any interest in reporting people. So just do the right thing.
Do y'all get confiscated sea turtles?
Just
wondering how many people try to take one when they come up on shore, if they try to catch them.
Only one we have ever had was one that made its way to San Antonio.
That's a long way for a sea turtle to swim.
Yeah, I know, right? And they said they found it in their ditch.
Yeah,
in their backyard. And I was like, all right, I don't. And so they turned it into, luckily, an appropriate person in San Antonio, and they contacted us. And I was like, well, I'm pretty sure that they were down at Corpus for the weekend and took it home with them. And then they were like, oh, this is too much for me to handle.
You're like, what do I do with a sea turtle?
So that's the only, as far as sea turtles go, that's the only one we've ever had, is that one.
Like, that's not something you go, I thought it was a regular slider. I just got
I know, right? No, I know. Yeah.
Like, I get the folks that maybe take home a Texas tortoise going, I thought it was an escaped sulcata. I've seen baby Texas tortoises. They were kind of similar.
Yeah, we get
but
that
you
a lot.
Can't mistake a sea turtle for anything other than a sea turtle.
Right. Yeah, that would be a hard sell. Yeah.
It just wandered into my backyard in San Antonio.
It was in the drainage ditch in my backyard, and everyone was like, "I don't feel like that is the case." But
it got really lost during nesting season and just kept going inland. We told them to turn the lights off on the shore, and they didn't turn the lights off, and it just kept going.
Oh my gosh!
That's the only sea turtle one we've ever had is that one from San Antonio.
We'll get into the other things. I know a lot of your other collection is stuff from people having or not could take care of anymore. So I know some of the things like the lizards and the snakes you have are kind of that too.
Mm-hmm.
But so for the sea turtles, I want to get back to the care part because I just, a lot of people have owned a turtle and they buy a little, the horrible turtle diet and they feed the turtle in a 20-gallon tank with a little filter and it's great. How do you take care of, because you've got some of these turtles long term, what's the longest you take care of any of these guys for? I mean, because I know the ultimate goal as a rescue is to get them back out there, but that is not always the case.
So as far as as far as any guidelines, once we get past this cold, we'll start feeding everyone, because right now they're reptiles and their water's 60 degrees. We're not gonna they're not gonna want to eat right now, but because they're greens, we do lettuce primarily.
That's super
romaine
easy.
Romaine, yeah, we go through lots of romaine. Stop it. But once we start feeding them, we do 6% of their body weight 3 times a week.
Oh, so you have to it's not just chunk food in there and hope that everybody eats. You're really having to pay attention if they're
so we pull everybody once a week and weigh them and then adjust the food amounts from there.
Okay, so hold on, I'm just trying to think logistics. Are you doing that with stunned ones also?
The stunned ones, we won't do that with the stunned ones.
Okay, I was I'm just thinking that's a lot of weighing. It's way easier when it was 11.
It is. Now Saturday we're going to pull everybody, all 130 ish.
Oh, you're gonna get slapped a ton.
Yeah, a lot. It's gonna be all the slapping. But we're gonna and just try to reevaluate and put everybody in their appropriate places so we can maybe make some more room to take some more.
Gotcha.
For the upcoming, but usually with the cold stun, no, we don't feed anybody, because they're in and out so quick.
And what are you feeding the Kemps and the loggerheads and stuff, since those guys are not going to be eating?
They are fish. We do fish, herring, capelin. We usually start them out with squid. They love squid, and shrimp. So and really it's just anything that can get them kick-started to eat.
And do y'all have a deal? Does anybody because it's easy to get seafood down there. Is anybody helping y'all out to feed these guys? And since you are
actually, the Texas State Aquarium donates us, I would say 99% of our fish.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, yeah, they're super great about that. So yeah, and then for produce, CC Produce is a local produce place, and they donate at least a case of lettuce a week. So
okay, I gotta stop for just a second. Robert, what the fuck are you doing?
What do you mean?
Just throwing shit around your body. I keep looking up there. And
throwing for Sheldon.
Gotcha. Okay. I was
all we see are your hands just randomly throwing something, but we can't tell what you're throwing.
My first thought was you had 3D printed something and you were picking off supports and chunking them. I'm like, he's not gonna throw supports on the ground. He's got a dog in there. But then I'm like, okay,
nope.
Sorry, man.
I just bringing me this, and I'm just
so you're good.
There was a video that I saw the other day, and it was a guy that was on a Zoom call for work. And his wife was standing in the doorway behind him, videoing their corgi, who was tossing a toy behind him so that it would hit the dad in the back. And it was just landing in front of the computer every time. And he was like, I was just waiting on the people on my call to be like, what is happening? He's like, and I would just take the toy and chunk it for the dog. And the dog's just throwing the toy to try to get dad to play with him. It was so funny.
Oh, All right, back to turtles. How often do y'all have turtles you just can't release back in the wild?
Not very often. Turtles are amazing. They are amazing healers. They just do everything slow. Like they get sick slow, they get well slow. So we might have, I mean, y'all know your reptile keepers.
Yeah.
They do everything slow. So we may have turtles that we have long term, but they're not deemed non-releasable until they can't until we make that decision. It's
Gotcha.
I have seen amazing things happen. Like it's very few and far between that we have a captive.
Do you have animals that ever just like they end up going to an aquarium or something? They end up becoming a display animal somewhere else?
Yes. And so because we are right now not equipped to take long-term animals, we do anybody that does come up, we do try to find them homes. The problem with sea turtles is, they live a long time, and if you have one or two, then you're full. Like you can't take another one. So that's the problem with finding homes for captives.
Because I wonder, like, Houston Aquarium just opened up their Galapagos exhibit this past year, and they've got a green sea turtle there. And I think about these other aquariums that have green sea or have a turtle here. It's not like zoos are breeding turtles; they're not breeding, sea turtles. So to have anything other than a baby, I mean, I would imagine it's got to be something rescued.
And that's where these people get them. But then when they have one, they have it for 20 years at the minimum, maybe, depending on the, they are a long-term investment. So
what is the lifespan of a, everybody watches Nemo and they make fun of how long the turtle lives in Nemo and all. What is your lifespan, like a green or a Ridley or something like
that? Ridleys are, so the smaller the turtle, the lower the lifespan.
Gotcha.
Ridleys, I would say 50. It's hard to say because when we started taking scientific data of these, like it's only been the last 80 years.
Yeah,
so,
they're still alive. So
so like we don't really know. I mean, I would say the bigger the turtle, the longer the lifespan. I mean, somebody asked me today on a Texas tortoise. So what is y'all's opinion on how long a Texas tortoise lives?
I mean, I would imagine, I don't know for sure, but I would imagine they're living somewhere around 60, 70.
Ooh, Google says 60.
Oh, wow. Okay. I went short on that. I said 40.
The tortoise thing kind of fits your thing with the turtle thing as far as lifespan. We're talking Aldabra and Galops. Those guys are living 150 to 200 years.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And then talk box turtles, we're talking 30, 40 years.
Okay. So I went on a Texas tortoise today. I said 40. So I should up my numbers on that one. But yeah, it's just kind of a.
So loggerheads probably live a long time.
Yes, they're
leatherbacks. I mean, loggerheads too, but leatherbacks probably.
Oh yeah, no, I don't even know. Yeah, 9 million years.
We still have the original ones. They're still here.
Yes, the prehistoric region. Yes.
Because I mean, something like that, I would imagine.
No. So
what? Googling.
Let me keep doing some search.
That number doesn't seem.
That can't be accurate for a.
That says 45 to 50. There's no way that they're a leatherback.
That's for a leatherback. Sure. But then this one says that the oldest leatherback was approximately 100 years old.
And I would have imagined longer.
Yeah.
But like, what is their?
And that one weighed over 2,000 pounds and measured 9 feet in length.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It was off. That's the largest one on record. That washed up dead on the coast of Wales, and that was in 1988.
100 seems like a short.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like very long.
As we see here going, 100 seems like a small number, and it's like still a long time. But I just gotta imagine that those guys are living like sulcatas and aldabras. 150
I was about to say
years,
because
so.
in this,
And I imagine those big guys aren't. I mean, especially the males, they're never coming in. They're
because
out.
loggerheads,
Right.
they're saying like 80 years or more.
It's
Yeah,
way
I mean,
more.
I would say for loggerheads and greens, I would say if someone asked me on a tour, I would say 80 years.
Because the females, this is saying they don't even reach maturity until 35.
Yeah.
So I guess this is another one. Are the majority of your, well, you said your greens are small, but are the majority of your rescues female? Do y'all sex them? Or I'm just wondering because, females, I wonder if they're hanging out near shore more than the males. If they're just out.
We get usually the only ones that we get that we can tell the sex on is adult Kemps.
Gotcha.
Because usually the greens are so small because in our area they're not. They're tiny.
Gotcha.
So
Which ones do you have nesting down there?
oh, primarily Kemps.
See, that's still a cool one to have nesting down there.
Yeah.
That's a cool little turtle. Everybody's never go. Anybody listening, go Google search a Kemp's Red Leaf. It's a really pretty turtle. Like the shell on them it's a very pretty shell.
So yeah, primarily the only ones we can tell definitively a sex on are adult Kemps because it's
Gotcha.
It's just the greens, we don't have those here. Loggerheads, occasionally, I think we've had maybe one or two that we could tell that they were adults, and it's usually when it's a male because their tail's longer. So
yeah. That's like hey, do it. Most turtles they got a long tail, but
yeah.
So what is your craziest like rescue story for? Man, I'm sure there's one where like that's your go-to like craziest rescue.
Craziest rescue was an emu.
Oh no, thanks. That's the dinosaur. I'm not doing that.
At like a frat house.
Stop it.
I'm not even lying. So we got a call. It was after Hurricane Harvey.
Great.
Yeah, and this emu showed up at TMUCC, so Texas A&M Corpus Christi, but it was like it wasn't a frat house, but it was a frat house. It was like a bunch of dudes sitting in their garage smoking pot, and they
one person was like, you know what we need to get is an emu.
So this emu showed up, and they I felt really bad for the emu. He was super cool. They hobbled it. I don't even know how they knew how to make hobbles, but they duct taped its legs in hobbles. But then they called us and they were like, you need to come get this emu because it's scaring us.
You freaking duct taped its legs. What do you expect?
Yeah. And so we were also dealing with all the hurricane shit. And so I was like, just go get the emu. I wasn't on the rescue, but they went to the house and they opened up the garage door and it was like Cheech and Chong billowing out of the garage.
No.
And yeah. And it was, but we found the owner of the emu. We cleared its legs. We're all good. And yeah, so that's the craziest one was Steve the emu.
I'll take on turtles any day over an emu. That's
he was. I love
y'all
him.
hear this dog
but I
barking
was
at me
happy to
because
see
I'm ignoring him?
Oh,
I decided, okay, I'm going to ignore him and let him do it. And he started barking at me now. This is my life now.
Millie was sitting outside of the gate where we are whining, and I just texted Joe and was like, go take Millie outside.
Well, he's getting fixed on Monday, so I'm trying to be as nice to him as possible between now and then.
Oh no nuts.
Yep.
So let's talk about the emu brings up. Let's talk about some of the other animals you have there because you don't have just the turtles, although that is that's Katie's favorite. And oh, Jesus Christ,
I turned mine off. I
kids alarm.
almost told you turn your alarms off.
Next one goes off. It's at 9. If we're still on at 9, it's
I know.
gotta go.
Well, you're already an hour in and you haven't even gotten to Facebook yet.
We're going to. I'm getting.
Okay.
So what are some of the other animals you have there? Because I know you have some odds and ends, reptiles and stuff that you kind of get. So what else do you have?
Yes. So we have an education area. So because in Corpus, I don't know if anybody's aware, but
Weird ass laws.
yes, no monitors and no constrictors.
Yeah, which is almost everything.
Right, like a corn snake. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the weirdest. That is to me that it's always been the that shows you whoever made laws doesn't know shit.
Has
Mhm.
no idea.
Because I'm like,
And we've
all right,
been-
so all snakes got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and so we've been telling them for years because I'm like, guys, I can't keep taking. I mean, I'll make room for monitors because we will always, but like ball pythons, I can't. I can't. Like that's dumb. Like you're dumb. Like they're not gonna ruin your ecosystem.
Is
if
there a
they get out.
venomous snake law there also, or is it?
Yes, no
Okay.
venomous, but venomous does not apply to Gila monsters.
Okay. Does it apply to mildly venomous like hognose?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, it's stupid.
But the corn snake one always got me. I'm like, it's a fucking corn snake. Like that's
Right.
Looks like Alvin.
But so I think
Yeah.
what animal control, and I love our animal control. They're great. They do a lot for us, and they always reach out to me. So, but what they consider as a constrictor is a boa or python,
gotcha. So
So-
just the big ones.
or not the big ones, because even a ball
Sam-
python like that's
One of the-
a
You
big
grab
one.
a sambo, like sambo, it's a constrictor.
Yeah. So so we take in those species when we can, when we have room. But that makes our education awesome. So we try to educate everyone on proper pet care and knowing what you're getting into when you get into it.
Because you have a couple of larger monitors there.
Yes, we have a Nile and a blue tail.
Blue tails are spastic. Is yours spastic?
No, he's super sweet.
I had one given to me once, and that was
Super
I
awesome.
should have said no at the beginning. Like, that was
Now that's our Nile. I am not a fan of him, but and then we have a couple Ackies, which are awesome. But
see, that's another one. Having a no monitor rule and then putting Ackies on, like that's
like an Ackie, that's like a bearded dragon.
yeah, but cooler. Like it's a bearded dragon, but way cooler.
Yeah. So, it doesn't make any sense, but I mean, it's just and we have lots of Texas. We have 5 Texas tortoises. We have 3 sliders that were surrendered. We have 2 what are they? The
Fine.
I can't remember. What
Do you have
they are.
sulcatas?
No, we don't. We don't have room. I can't.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. Hopefully, we're hoping to expand, and we would like to do a sulcata exhibit, but we have redfoots. We have 3 redfoots.
Redfoots are great.
I love them so much. But right now we just can't do sulcatas. Hopefully, in the future, we will be able to, but it will be on a very limited basis.
Have you? I don't know if you have any now, but I'm sure at some point you've had large constrictors come through there. Retic sperms.
I do not take any retic sperms. And also right now I don't do red tails because I'm
Gotcha.
full. I've got to. But that we have the snake farm in New Braunfels.
New Braunfels, yeah.
Yeah. So usually animal control sends those to them
Gotcha.
if we
Yeah.
get any. So
Yeah, that's one of those with you. Like, if you ever have a spot for sulcatas, then all of a sudden you're gonna have like 20 people go, "Hey, do you want the sulcata?"
yeah, no, and we get calls all the time about cicadas, and I'm just like, I can't. I don't like be a responsible pet owner. I don't know what to tell you. Like, know
So-
what you're getting into.
But what if someone was like, "Hey, I've got an Aldabra. Are you gonna find space for that?" Or you gonna be like, "Yeah, no, I got space for this now."
I actually don't think so. I mean, I would love it.
Okay, I'm just saying, if anybody ever contacts you, I'll find space for it.
I
Feel free
mean,
to-
I would just call you guys or Sean and Lori and just say, hey, I got
don't
this.
call Sean. He's already got some.
Okay.
I knew that was
Don't-
coming.
Sean's already got Aldabras. He doesn't need it anymore.
All right.
Knew
I
that
know
was
my
coming.
new contact. I got
Oh
it.
my
All right.
gosh.
We had someone that has a more local rescue to us on several episodes ago, and someone had an Aldabra, and it now stays at her rescue. It is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And that would be the problem, because if I took one in, because I know they're like super, and even sulcatas are super personable. Like, I would love to have one, yes, but no,
They won't slap you. I mean, they may run you over, but they won't slap
they
you.
might, yeah.
So let's go into our question for this week. We had several people answer it. The question was, what is the role of wildlife rehabilitation / education centers in not only the wild reptile population, but also the hobby population as well? I mean, especially considering the large chunk of your educational group are hobbyist animals. I mean,
Yeah.
they're not.
Yeah.
You don't have a big wild population of animals to show on. You've got what everybody's going to get at a reptile show.
Yeah.
So let's go through. Our buddy Nathan said, most people's fear of reptiles stems from ignorance or misunderstanding. Education can be a powerful tool to change the perception, revealing aspects of reptiles that they may have never considered. For those who are afraid, the mere presence of a reptile can be overwhelming. However, by reducing fear through education, these individuals can begin to appreciate reptiles in a new light. This creates a positive cycle. As fear diminishes, people become more open to learning, and responsible reptile keepers can showcase proper care, setting a great example. The goal is foster understanding and admiration for these incredible creatures and breaking the cycle of fear with knowledge. But yeah, I agree. That's the biggest thing I think of any education is you're just trying to get people
Right.
experience.
And I think that is our main goal, is to try to get all of that message across. Since COVID, we haven't been able to get a lot of our education animals out and pass them around. I mean, we used to do a whole bunch and pass everybody around, and then COVID, it got weird, and everybody was like, "Ooh, I don't want to do that." We're starting again to try to get that reintroduced, because I think it does make a huge. I mean, we can make a huge impact on, and it's not like the kids are not inherently afraid.
Yeah,
they're taught to be afraid. So if the parent, I mean, we've had people come in and they're like, I can't come in here. You're gonna have to show me around the back side to get in, because I can't walk by the snakes. I'm like, you can't walk by the snakes that are in secure enclosures? Like, what the
used to
hell?
drive me nuts as a zookeeper. I'd be behind the snake exhibit cleaning stuff, and I'd hear school groups with a teacher whose job is to educate them, send kids in one side and go wait for them on the other side.
Yeah.
I'm like, go in and read a damn sign.
Yeah.
Like, do your job, educate them.
Yeah. And I think that is just the exposure is huge, and we kind of force people, because there's only one door in and one door outside, and then you have to go. So it's and like, yeah, you can wait outside until your tour, but you're gonna have to walk through where the snakes are in a enclosure, and snakes are not bad. Snakes are good.
And it's definitely a learned fear. And if anybody that's ever had kids, if you ever say something is bad or a negative, when they're little, they
Mhm.
cling on to that, and that
Yeah.
becomes law to them that it is always bad.
Well, in
Yeah.
good news, you can reverse that.
You can.
Because I have a girl in my zoology club. I taught her last year in 4th grade, and she joined. And her mom, I adore her. I love her mom. Her mom's another teacher at another school. And when she wanted to join zoology club, her mom called me and she was like, I need you to fully understand how terrified my child is of every living animal. But Miss Lewis is teaching this club and she wants to join it because she adores you. And I was like, let's do it. I was like, she can.
Right.
And I'll be honest. She sat in the back of the room every time we took an animal out, but she sat in the room. By the end of the school year, she was touching everything. She was one of the first ones in line to see KP when you brought the Chinese alligator and the pine snake.
Yeah.
I took pictures, texted them to her mama. And then when we went on our field trip, we went to, what is it? It's an old plantation home. It's here in Texas. It's not far from here at all. Anyways, but they have chickens. And one of the houses that we were at, and the guy was like, hey, I actually need to go collect the eggs. Do you have any kids? And so I called her. I was like, hey, do you want to go do this? Or do you want me to call somebody else? And she was like, I can do it. You can show me how. And her parents were on the field trip with us. Her mom was like, not only did she reach in and get the chicken eggs on her own, but then she touched the chicken voluntarily. She's like, what did you do to my child? I was like, I taught her not to be afraid.
That's awesome.
But, I mean, it was just so cool.
Well, I think that the one thing I'm very good at getting people to, at very least, usually touch a snake. Like if I'm doing an education program, I can take someone who is usually pretty afraid of them or doesn't like them, and at least get them to touch one and realize that it's not trying to kill them. You know, one of the questions you always get, and I'm sure you've gotten to do an education program, especially with snakes, is why is it not biting you?
Yeah.
Like, because
It's not their go-to.
It's not the food. I'm not food, and I'm not trying to hurt it. It's not what it's. Why aren't you currently biting people around you? That's, but that's always when I get when a snake is calm. They're like, "Aren't you afraid? And why is it not biting you?" I'm like, "No," and because that's not what they do.
Right.
But yes, education is a big one, and you've got to get the kids. I mean, you can change. Yeah. I've done it with adults. You can change adults' minds.
Yes,
but it's much harder.
So my least favorite project that our child has to do in junior high is the STEM fair project, because she is in gifted classes. So she is forced to participate. It's not optional for us.
And this year was a great one, even though it was done in a day.
Thank you for everyone who participated in the survey that was put out 48 hours before her project was due, because she felt that 15 people was enough data. And I was like, no, ma'am, you need like hundreds of people to answer this, which we ended up getting like 400 people, which was great. But she wanted to prove for community awareness that people are less afraid of snakes and more likely to leave them alone if they are educated about them. So she had interview questions and she would ask people about it. And these were, I mean, everybody. This was people that she knew liked snakes, people that didn't like snakes. Then she gave them.
Well, the actual survey.
Oh, yeah.
So it was 5 questions, I think.
4 or 5, yeah.
And they're all multiple choice. And they're basically, what do you feel your knowledge level is on a scale of whatever? And what would you do if you saw this? And how would you react to this? And what? And they answered these 5 questions. And then she did a PowerPoint and did a voiceover. So you had to watch the little PowerPoint and voiceover video.
That was the one that we did on the computer for her friends that she interviewed at school. She just told them facts.
And that video was probably like 2 minutes long.
Not even. I think it was 1.5 minutes. It
was just 5 interesting facts about snakes and the voiceover. And then they had to answer the same questions again. And we actually saw a huge change in the perception when the second time they answered.
Yeah, because one of the questions is like, how important do you think snakes are to our environment? And the original answers, there were a lot of people that were like, we don't need them, they're not important. And then the second time around, it was like, oh, hey, we might want to leave these here and not kill them. But she had like, I want to say it was like a 30 or 40% change into the positive.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was pretty excited about that too. But There will be pictures coming up, folks, because she presents on your birthday on the 28th. That's
Yeah.
what we're doing for your birthday. We're going to
happy
a
birthday.
junior high STEM fair.
So excited. But
There's food trucks. I'll buy you dinner.
but yeah, that was an interesting one. Like I said, I didn't know what to expect, but I do remember seeing the data afterwards, and it was a huge perception change just from a 1.5-minute video of a kid telling them interesting facts about snakes. And we were very careful with the video. It was just a video of a PowerPoint of words.
Oh yeah, it wasn't her.
We didn't do her, and we didn't do pictures of the snakes because people that are afraid of snakes, something pops up with snakes on it, they tune out. They're done. They're not.
And I liked because she even put on her, like, on the survey, it was like, please watch this short presentation. There are no pictures of snakes or videos of snakes in this presentation. It's just information. Like, she let them know that going into the presentation, which, I mean, anytime I do presentations where I'm traveling, or even when I go to other classrooms, if I get down there and there are people that I was not expecting to be in the room, I'm like, hey, heads up, this is what I have. I need you to not have reactions when I take it out in front of the kids.
Well, and also the bulk of the people that answered the survey were not reptile people. I know, like,
we didn't post it on the Reptile Gumbo page. We didn't post it on the Herps page.
Like the talk of groups, like the talk of the towns and all, which are predominantly usually non-snake people in those groups. And it was interesting seeing the small bit of education. She
also had a big jump from, like, the first time they took it, the majority of people were in the I know nothing about snakes or very little about snakes. And after they watched her presentation, everybody was a 3 or higher, which was also cool. So I'm like, see, look, you tell people things.
All right. That's good.
But yeah.
And that's kind of what our goal at the center is too, because, we have people who are like, oh, I can't. And even volunteers, because snakes are scary. Whatever.
Well, with that being said, this volunteer would never do a damn thing with any of the Madagascar hissing cockroaches. So I can't really,
but,
whatever.
But like we're and we kind of gently forced our volunteers to handle the snakes, and like we give them, like, they're all gloved up and handling a corn snake, and I'm like, okay, whatever you feel you need to do.
Yeah, no, my heart is speeding up thinking about holding a cockroach. Like, yeah, I get the irrational fear. I understand that it's irrational.
Mine is sharks.
That's not irrational. That's not, sharks are not an irrational fear. And I get that a shark biologist would be like, but it is. But it's not.
It is irrational.
They are a large predator
like
in the ocean.
Time that you thought you were going to have to live in your kayak because you were stuck on a cypress log.
Yeah, alligators are a large aquatic predator.
He texted me from his kayak, I think I live here permanently. And I was like, excuse me? Where are you? And he was like, I'm stuck.
No, my dad was like,
give me an alligator any day over a shark.
I'm like, dude.
Well, my dad was like, just jump out of the kayak and knock it off the stump. I was like, no. No.
I'm going to get eat.
I was in definite alligator. Like, look,
you were in the swamp of Louisiana.
Look, we are humans and we are not designed for water. We're just not. And I'm not designed to fight off a shark. And I don't give a shit what anybody says about punching one in the mouth or nose. I'm not going to fucking punch a shark in the nose.
No, you in the eye, not the nose.
Yeah, it's going to be flailing.
The thing that I think is cute.
I live here.
Is that James thinks that his kayak is going to stop a determined alligator. Or
I know.
I can at least see it coming and hit it with a paddle. If I'm in the water, I'm fucked.
Oh God! It makes me laugh every time.
Eat you.
I'm not going in there. I'm not.
But I don't go when I go in the ocean.
I don't go in the ocean because there are sharks. Everybody's like, well, you're more likely to have this happen than get bit by a shark.
I don't care.
I am as a 0% chance, and I don't care what any stat was. 0% chance of being attacked by a shark.
So
on land.
Speaking of, so that Corpus trip that we came and visited you, we ended up at the beach later that night. And Josephine and I were like 95% sure at one point when we saw a wave come up that we saw a turtle swimming in the water, but it was like just after dark, so you couldn't really tell. And I'm like, I'm gonna tell myself it was a turtle, and I was that close to one in the wild.
You were close to wild turtles.
No, but this was like at the beach.
it was probably a shark. Because turtles go to bed at nighttime. Sharks
Yeah.
go
How-
to dinner at nighttime.
Well, it wasn't big.
Do y'all ever
It
get
was little.
do y'all ever get shark attack turtles in as rescues?
We do not a lot.
Because sharks are really good at finishing their job.
Well, yeah, there might be that. I gotta stop. Not a lot, and not a lot of sharks, not a lot of boat hits. Not nearly as much as Florida.
I didn't think about boat hits. Yeah.
We do get a lot of turtles that yeet themselves onto the beach to avoid sharks
Gotcha.
in the spring. So like the little greens will be like, oh, there's a shark chasing me. I'm just gonna yeet myself onto the beach, and then they're like, oh well, hell, I'm stuck. So,
So
we
go ahead. Sorry.
we get a few of those. We don't get a lot of shark attacks. We got one big green. We've had a few, but it's not as many as you would think.
Gotcha. So Jeff said something in the chat that I see all the time, because most studies show how cows kill more people than sharks, but they never mention how often people interact with cows. You know, it's like flying's safer than driving. There's more car accidents. Well, there's more fucking cars than planes.
Right. And when a plane goes down, everyone gonna die.
Yeah, it's more catastrophic than a fender bender. It's not.
Yes. So
Yeah.
yes, I mean I have the irrational fear of sharks, so I get it.
Not a.
Mine's just cockroaches and mice. It's,
Yeah, that one's
you know,
irrational because they're not doing anything.
ugh, I can't.
Sharks gonna. I don't want to lose legs.
But I'm also afraid of the small birds that are in like aviaries where you go in and feed the seeds on a popsicle stick. But I'll go in with vultures or condors or something that could like rip my face off, you know?
but not
The big
a
ones don't
canary?
scare me.
Yeah,
But not a
parakeets.
canary.
Parakeets freak me
Not
the
getting
fuck out. Like I cannot. Those little birds with the little beaks and just
Yeah, a lot of-
my skin is crawling.
We go to zoos
right
with
now.
aviaries. A lot of time it's Katie waiting on the outside. It's like the
I
people-
go in and like take like 2 pictures, and then I'm like, nope, it flew too close to my head. I gotta go. Bye. I
love that.
can't. Like, I feel bad because the bird flu is like they're taking precautions, but I'm like, yes, all the aviaries are closed. We don't have to go in there.
Yes, birds are dying. That's fucked up, Katie.
Avian flu, I will just say it's not as bad as everyone is making up.
Well, what surprised me about that was I read an article about Washington State. They were having some cougars that were coming down with it.
Yes, so it's
And I had
It's
never
now-
even thought about things eating
it's
birds.
now transferred to big cats and cows, and like it's I mean, so for that part of it, but down here in Corpus
Oh,
where
yeah.
we are, it's not a major deal.
But it just like, I was like,
They've just got turtle herpes.
I had
Yeah,
never
we got
thought
the turtle
about
herpes.
that spreading. Speaking of things spreading, though, I
Whoa.
wonder if that has spread to anything else in the ocean.
Turtle herpes. It's freaky ass turtles.
Herpes is a species specific.
Okay.
So that
I don't know much about
will
this.
It will only go to sea turtles,
Gotcha.
primarily greens, but it will not spread.
Greens are the hoary-ish.
Oh my
They
god.
really get around.
Right?
Greens.
Because they hang out with each other in
That's
clusters.
it's like koalas. The one fact that most people know about koalas, they have chlamydia.
Yeah.
You give an animal a sexually transmitted disease, people will learn that shit. They may not learn anything else about that animal, but they'll learn that they can fucking get sick. That's what they're gonna learn. God, I'll have kids all the time. You know
I'm always
koalas have
nervous.
chlamydia? Yes, I know.
See, and I'm always nervous whenever we learn about random stuff at zoology club because I have like 7, 8, 9-year-olds, and I'm waiting for one of them to tell me these facts because I know they know them, because most of these kids are in the gifted classes and know way more information than they need to about stuff. And I'm waiting for the day where somebody drops something like that on me, and I have to figure out how to be like, okay, moving on.
Yeah, kids go, what's chlamydia?
Yeah, like we're not going there. And then I have to make a post in our parent group that's like, FYI, this was brought up.
Explain chlamydia to your
You
kid.
do
That's fine.
you. I moved on. Like that's yeah. I got nothing.
You'd be like, you remember when your mom and dad got divorced because your dad was mad
Well,
that mom caught something? That
And
was
so
chlamydia.
so when we were in Louisiana, Joe
did
was
not get
like,
chlamydia.
no. Joe was like 4
She did not get
because
chlamydia.
we were in pre-K. No, but we had to talk to her about how the kids in her class didn't want to know how snakes had babies. Do you remember this?
I obviously don't know. I blocked that out.
So you had snakes that were breeding, and then you had snakes that gave birth. And her pre-K teacher came to me after school because we were at Phoenix together. And she said that Joe came up to her that morning and told her that the snakes at her house had babies, but that her mama had said she couldn't tell her friends about it because her friends might not know where babies came from yet. And I was like, that is 100% true. And I 100% told her that because you don't need to deal with that in a pre-K class, Miss
That's also
Ainsworth.
along the lines of why, like, every time I see a parent talk about buying a new goldfish or baited or replace, I'm like, fuck that. I scarred my kid as a child.
Well,
She saw a fish die and then she freaked out when I flushed it down the toilet. She learned shit.
She would not use that toilet for like 3 months. It was ridiculous. She would go use the other toilet in the house. It was crazy. But she's also the same kid that if like the parents are like, oh, they're wrestling at the zoo. She's like, no, they're not. They're mating. They're trying to make babies. And I'm like, whoa, let's not interrupt other people's conversations
Well, it was
here.
cute when she was 4 and corrected adults. Now at 13, she's just kind of a bitch.
It looks a little weird.
Well, I will say this though. She does when we're out in public. She'll look at us
Yeah, and I'm like, no,
and we're like,
just let it go.
just let it go.
No.
But she
let's
looks
go.
at us to see.
You've reached an age where I
Can
can't
I
just say,
correct
Reading,
them?
she's reading the room.
yes.
Yeah.
I just reached an
Reading the
age where I can't just look at the person and go, sorry, she's little.
She's little. She's not anymore.
Like, sorry,
she's taller than I
sorry,
am.
she's 14 and you're fucking wrong. I don't know what to tell you.
But yeah.
Be smarter. All right, let me hear some of his answers. Kyle, who I think was in the chat earlier, said he has quite a few friends who have animals that are raised particularly for education programs. As someone who was raised around snakes my whole life, I was that person for a lot of my grade school growing up. The ability to show people that the demonized animals they were raised to fear is just another life that we're responsible for.
Demonized.
And their environment. I mean, you're Catholic, you know.
That is not us. Thank you so much.
That's all of y'all with your silly books saying
No,
that snakes are evil.
no. We no, absolutely not.
Really?
No, sir.
Really? So it doesn't say in your book.
We don't have snakes in our services.
I didn't say that's not. I'm not talking about snake handling.
That's not what she's
I'm
talking about.
all of you silly
Those are
Catholics thinking
Pentecostals.
the best.
Exactly.
They're dancing around talking in tongues and playing with snakes. I'm talking about how snakes are evil because one gave a fruit to a stupid
No.
bitch and
Oh my gosh.
it never even says snake. It says serpent.
Exactly.
And I don't even read the Bible. I know that.
Mhm.
Christians.
No, sir.
I'm already pissed off. I got to watch fucking Catholics play football in the national championship.
I'm kind of excited.
I don't like them or Ohio State.
I can't
Anyways.
stand Ohio State. so
Notre Dame all the
go Notre
way.
Dame.
Notre Dame because I can't stand Ohio State.
Can't stand
I
Ohio
can't do
State.
it.
Just hoping a
I mean,
third
that's
team
not
runs
Ohio.
out there and plays.
Who likes Ohio outside of Ohio? I don't even think people in Ohio like Ohio.
This is probably very true. Very true.
Like, the only thing I like about
And if
Notre
you're listening and you're an Ohio State fan, we're
you
sorry.
can suck this
Sorry.
dick.
No, Mark.
Sorry.
Not at
But
all.
we're sorry that you're a fan. We're not sorry
Yes.
that we're talking
yeah.
about them.
Like the only good
We're
thing
sorry
about
that you have terrible judgment.
the only good thing about Notre Dame is Rudy.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
It's a great.
It is
movie.
a great movie.
We
Yeah,
should make our kid watch that movie.
Rudy, such a good movie.
I'm gonna watch that tonight. I haven't watched it in person.
Oh yeah, everyone
It's
needs
a
to
good
watch
Since I
one.
took a 2.5 hour nap this afternoon, I probably should.
Oh,
And
real
yes,
quick,
James,
was this?
you 100% woke me up when you called me.
That's why I called you.
6:55.
I know, that's why
He
I
said he
called.
was. He's like, I gotta call Robert. I'm like, oh my god, is everything
You
okay?
wouldn't
I had
answer
a
you
text
wouldn't answer
message.
text. I was like, "Get to sleep."
I had a direct text message from him. I had one to our group chat with me and JT. I had a Facebook message.
I didn't know what was silenced or what wasn't silenced, so I was like, "Let me just send messages to everything."
Just do all the things.
Oh my gosh.
Let me finish up Kyle's here. He said, so far we've failed on both accounts. That's getting people, or we go back up. He said, the ability to show people that the demonized animal they were raised to fear is just another life that we're responsible for and their environment. So far we've failed on both accounts in the way that the world is going. But perhaps the next little girl or boy who falls in love with them will be, I don't understand, a Mark Zuckerberg, but one who cares about the world. Oh, and how they affect it. So someone who can. Okay, got it. I get it. I thought maybe they thought he was gonna be crazy.
I mean, it went a little crazy there for a second, but
I'm not Zuckerberg
brought it back
crazy.
around.
We veered off just a little. I was confused.
Laura said, I think some wildlife rehabbers end up with pet reptiles as well that were dumped that can't be released due to being non-native or held in captivity too long. Yep.
I have my corn snake in my classroom. It was a drop off at the zoo, and the zoo didn't need it.
And she said, I think that wildlife rehab education must include how to deal with domestic or / pet animals that people either no longer want to care for or cannot care for themselves.
Yeah. And so because we always set a booth at the Corpus Herp show.
Yeah.
And that's kind of that's our message all around, is just responsible ownership and trying to do the right thing and make them give pets who have to be surrendered, quote unquote, give them good homes but just educating is the primary thing.
Because some people, I think it's becoming maybe less and less of a generational thing. You can just put it in the wild, just release it in the wild, whatever it is, and they would just put it out there. And I think education is getting us closer to people not just releasing shit in the wild because they don't want it anymore.
Right. And at least people now are calling us before they do that. And I'm like, no, you can't release your pet red-eared slider into Oso Creek. No, that's not how this works. Like, be responsible. So
yeah. Todd Autry said, I personally would like to do more educational type stuff. Sadly, fear and other things get in the way. He said he did a church summer camp last year and he took a rattlesnake, cottonmouth, and copperhead, all secured in safe containers. And everyone in management went crazy because of it. He said, I understand their point, but after the lecture, the kids went into horseback camp and they were all worried about the insurance. He said, but then they let kids get on horses. Yeah, look, horses killed Superman, so fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. That's why I don't trust horses. Superman got paralyzed and then died. So,
fair.
Snakes didn't kill Superman. Just saying they're safer.
Mm-hmm.
And then Graham said, when we do educational shows, we have found that adults that are scared of snakes come from being at the seaside when they was. Yeah, I can't read the rest of that. Sorry, Graham. It's lost some gibberish in there, and this one. Oh, I get it. When the educational shows, we have found that adults that are scared of snakes come from being at the
beach
when they were kids and a person dumped a Burmese python on their shoulders.
Yeah, like people that just walk around with snakes in the public and things like that.
And if the adults want to address that fear, we will help them with it by spending time with them. Yeah, I have never, ever used a snake or a reptile to scare someone. And many times I've had people ask me to do it, especially like when I take snakes to school. They're like, hey, bring the snake over here and scare it. No, that defeats everything I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
So I did scare the shit out of a coworker today with my little tegu.
Oh, he's so cute. I love that tegu.
I wasn't even trying. I just had it in my hand when I went up to his room.
He said a ton of people thought it was real today.
I want one of those.
And when the guy opened his door, he literally screamed and jumped back 3 feet, like screamed.
No,
like a little woman screamed.
Bless
and he's
him.
like, he thought it was a snake. And then he's like, why are you holding it? I was like, I was just holding it, man. I don't know what to tell you. But he's like, now I'm kind of embarrassed. It's like, what?
Maybe you should be.
I'm not kidding. Screamed and jumped. Like,
you should walk around with that lepidus tomorrow then.
Oh, it's going to be after tomorrow because I had to wait.
He had a malfunction he had to fix. So now it's not going to be done till like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And then he's got to do fangs.
I got to print fangs and glue the eyeballs in. But it's going to be fucking awesome when it's done. And then I'm doing a Gila monster.
You ran out of one of the colors, didn't you?
Yeah, I ran out of bone. I gambled and I lost. So I had to put more color.
Played filament chicken and you lost.
I had to drive into fucking
asshole
Houston.
Friend of yours would have remembered to grab you a roll the other day when we were at.
That's true. Robert's like, you want me to get anything? I was like, yeah, just give me a bone. And we got back to the apartment. I was like, hey, are one of these bones for me?
This
like,
is what I've been printing out of it. And
those are cool.
2 of these out of a full roll.
Oh, damn.
Oh, wow.
What's the infill on that thing? I know we got way off of, and Amanda's like, I don't know what you're talking about. But
No, you're good.
Story of my life.
I love this. I'm having so much fun.
Here, man, you like this one.
No,
You like this one. I love
that
it.
is
I love
cool.
that one.
Except for the half completed one that was sitting on top of my microwave that I'm ready to throw away.
We can
I
probably
finished
grind
this
that.
little guy this morning.
So much anger. I love that too.
Because every time I open the microwave, it like falls into the microwave. I'm like, no, sir, move your stuff.
It's not even half. a
Where's
frog,
your
it's like a
dinosaur
frog.
bone thing?
Oh,
That thing is gigantic. So apparently James has discovered this one particular file where you can take skulls of dinosaurs, or it may just be this skull. I don't actually listen to what he says, but you can mount it on the wall like you would
you're making
mount
shit
a
up now.
deer. I'm not making up shit.
That's not the right story.
Okay, well, I'm telling the wrong story.
So the file is that this guy designed is he's got a T-Rex, a Triceratops, and a Stegosaurus, and it's their full skull. And
Why didn't you do the Triceratops?
I'm going to.
Okay.
Oh,
But and it comes with a wall mount, like you're mounting a deer to attach to it. Then you can put it on the wall. Well, here is just the top part of the T-Rex.
It's gigantic.
But it's so I still got to print the bottom part,
It's
and it
so cool
and it comes with a
looking.
bone you can print to put in its mouth, and then you mount it to the wall on this plaque, and it will look like a T-Rex eating a bone.
Yeah. It's literally can almost fit on his head.
But I want to do the Stegosaurus and Triceratops. What I'm upset is the mouth doesn't open because I had an idea. I found a picture of the tree star from Land Before Time, and I was going to print the tree star and kind of warp it and put it in their mouth like they were eating the tree star.
No.
But their mouths don't open. So I
Yeah, I
got
bawl every time I watch that movie.
yeah, but no, this thing is like here's my head. This thing is massive.
Yeah. But so when he printed it, it printed like this. So I walked into the room and this is all I see in the printer. And I'm like, geez, is it going to fit
Here you
when
go,
it's all
Jane.
done?
Just for you.
Oh, that's funny. So
Turn
funny.
into more 3D printing stuff.
I know. It's taking over our
We
life
should start a 3D printing podcast.
with all that free time. Not I, said the cat.
Ooh, if we got enough listeners, I bet we could get free shit.
That's what we need.
There you go.
We haven't got
You
free
and
shit from
Robert.
this podcast.
No, we have not. And I've been good. I haven't brought up the costs of this free podcast.
Here we go.
Hey, speaking of that, if anybody out there wants to join our Patreon, I know I suck at getting shit posted, and I'm horrible. If you just want to give us like $3 a month, we'd greatly appreciate that.
Yes, we would.
So that when Kay's like, "Hey, can you transfer money into the bank account from?" I'll have money to transfer.
Yep. Because it's not free for us. It's free for y'all. Love you, mean it.
Yeah. But it's 246 episodes. Can't stop now. I mean, we could. But
Killing me, Smalls.
I do want.
You haven't done a giveaway in a while. You need to print something and give it away.
Oh, that's true. Maybe I'll print.
Maybe we'll make a poll and people can tell us what they want. We'll make a post. What do you think we should print for a giveaway?
I mean, I could print one of these Rocky Talkie things.
Oh, yeah.
I
His
will
stuff
be in on that
amazing.
for
There's
sure.
this. There's the Gila monster. There's the horned lizard. I need to print the horn. I get colors for the horned lizard. There's the bush viper.
You keep saying we got to get more colors.
You think we have a lot of filament? I'm telling you right now,
Jesus Christ.
that's not a lot of filament.
It's so much. It's so much.
But I do need to go to IKEA and check out the thing for.
But I came upstairs and no
Horrible.
3D things were on my sewing table. So
I know I moved it all.
I appreciate you. Every day I come upstairs, we have like one giant room upstairs, and that's where we all do our crafting activities or whatever. And every day I have to either take his stuff or Joe's stuff off my table so that it's out of my way.
What's your point?
One thing, don't put your stuff on my table.
I already put reptiles in every room. You think I gotta put shit on your table?
I got so excited. I thought the one in quarantine was finally going to leave and we'd have a animal-free
Yeah, well,
bedroom.
I'm gonna clean that cage and put it in that.
And
cage.
then he goes, yeah, but we're getting one in like a month. And I was like, damn it.
It may be less now. That's cool. I gotta wait till it warms back up. I may have waited too long.
No, I didn't think about that.
But it's gonna be a ball python. I know it's shitty ass ball. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna afford that one. Anyways, I got 3D printed stuff everywhere. I like Jeff's idea. Jeff says
Jeff can send us whatever colors he would like and you can use it to print. I will allow it.
I'll print.
I will say that at least people that send you animals do have the decency to reach out to me first. And they're like, hey, can we send this? And I'm like,
Hey,
I don't care.
this podcast did help me get in contact. I do have a Chinese alligator downstairs now
Mhm.
because of.
Well, he's not the only one who has called me first, though.
No, I know.
There have been you've gotten other things.
I
from
appreciate
people.
everyone else. But the Chinese alligator
Yeah.
is cooler.
Chris was funny. He was like, "Hey, I need help with this,
Do y'all ever
but
get
I'm not going to offer a foster to him.
Do y'all
if
ever
you
get
don't want
alligators
it."
down there? Like people try. Like, do they come up on the beach down there, or do you have to?
Yes, we
Oh.
haven't had any this year, but we usually once a year get an alligator.
Huh?
Do y'all?
I guess I don't imagine there being that much fresh water there for them.
They'll be out in the salt water.
Will they?
I used to see alligators in the marsh all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Never
in
mind
the
then.
brackish, but we usually take them and release them in freshwater bodies. We keep them for a little while, get them back fat and sassy, and then
That
send them-
makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of them probably end up there, just wash down any rivers that flow into that area
right.
as well.
Yeah, yeah. If we get a lot of heavy rain, yeah.
Cool.
Alligators. So get an alligator? I already have one. Speaking of alligators,
You're not getting anything else
ever?
animal wise. KP takes the cake.
That's true. Speaking of getting rid of animals, anybody out there want to buy some boas? I got some boas and sand boas for sale.
Mm-hmm.
Just throwing that out there. I need to sell that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go feed them after this podcast. So
I'm gonna go feed myself first
that does sound good. I'm actually
because I'm hungry.
all right. Did I leave anything out, Katie? You were all excited about turtles. Anything you want to ask her about turtles?
Oh no, we had a great conversation. This was fabulous. And I got a crap ton of stuff for school done too, which is also awesome. I've multitasked tonight. I don't know where all this energy came from suddenly, but
No more turtle questions.
Mm-mm.
I need to print some. I need a good sea turtle. I need somebody to come up with a sea turtle file.
Actually, I do have a question. So in Galveston, they have different signage and things like that along the beach. Like if you see a turtle, call this number. If you see this, call this number, or this is what you do, or this is whatever. Do y'all have that around in Corpus as well?
Yes, we do. We used to have it a lot around the pier, but then the hurricane took the pier away. So we
Ooh.
didn't. What are you doing? Sorry, my dog is being stupid. So we lost a lot of signage when we lost the
Gotcha.
pier, but we do have that, and we do have it's probably the same number for the turtle hotline. It's like 866.
Oh yeah.
Five
I
or
think-
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's because that's a statewide thing. So, but yeah, we do have signage on the jetties and at all the little beaches and stuff like that. Yep.
That's cool.
Yep.
That
So
was just something. I don't actually know. I think it's called Splash Texas. It's a nonprofit organization that does like beach cleanups and things like that in the Galveston area.
Okay.
We but they do stuff in Houston at different botanical gardens and parks and things like that. So my zoology club will go and help out when they do like the big, like they have like a huge nest fest. What sucks though is that it's always while I'm at school. And one year I'm just going to take the day off because basically you go and you clean the beaches where the sea turtle nests happen.
oh, that's cool.
So that the sea turtle nests are
Yeah.
safe again.
Yeah.
One year I will just take off and go down because I've wanted to do it since we moved here. But they do a competition each year for kids in elementary schools and high schools to like create signs that fit different themes, and some of them are bird related or turtle related, and it's all
Right.
about keeping the beaches clean and protecting the
cool.
wildlife and stuff like that. But they always attach if you see a problem, call these numbers. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
know.
it's
I
just because
assumed that they had those as well.
That 866 Turtle 5 is a statewide number, and it
That's
will
cool.
eventually. It needs to be reworked, but it will eventually get you to the right person.
The person, yeah, wherever you are in relation. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
No, I think that's it.
You good?
Yeah, next week we will not be on Tuesday, and we will not be on Wednesday. So if we're doing a podcast next week, we need to do it on Monday because we have child obligations.
We're off
Tuesday,
on Monday.
And
it may
oh
freeze
no,
on
not
Tuesday.
next week. 2 weeks from now. Just kidding, because it's your birthday, the week of your birthday.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks from now.
So just kidding. Next week we're gonna play it by ear based on the weather.
Yeah, if we still have power.
Shh.
Fucking Texas
No.
and their power grid.
It's the week after that you got to book for a Monday.
Cool.
Well, at least if it happens this time, I won't have 150 snakes to worry about. Well, you will.
Well, I had a coworker. And I was like, I really need the power not to go out. She goes, you'd be fine if the power went out for a day or so. I was like, I'd be fine, but the 100+ snakes in my house will not
would
be.
not be.
Yeah.
Well, and I had 2 clutches of eggs in the incubator last time too. That was fun. But luckily, we had gas water heater, so I was able to we were just able to cycle hot water bottles through the incubator every hour and a half, and both clutches.
Pain in the ass.
Do what?
What a pain in the ass, though.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare.
But we have a generator, so if we lose power, I can still
What
3D
are you doing?
print stuff.
Look, here he is. That's Atticus. What are you doing?
Oh, he's like, Mom,
No.
Mom, it's time to come to bed.
I know it's not time for bed yet.
Mine finally passed out. So
Mine will start pacing around me in circles, and then if I don't go to bed soon enough, she just goes and gets in the bed without me.
Thank you for making an appearance, sir.
It's so
Ridiculous.
So, Amanda, if people want to reach out and come see you or want to help in any way, what's the best way they could do that?
Our Facebook page is probably actually our most interactive. It's Texas Sealife Center. And then we also, our website is texassealifecenter.org. So either one of those. And then yeah, we're around. So
Go if you're in the Corpus Christi area, go visit. It's a great place.
Yeah, we're open to the public 5 days out of the week. And you can find all that on Facebook and our website. So,
and you too can cry when you see a sea turtle. Katie told me that she's. I said, I can't wait till you're on here because I'm going to bring up. She's. You don't have to tell everybody that. I was like, I don't have to, but I'm going to.
That's fine. I'm an emotional person. I can't help that.
I just never thought you would cry at sea turtles.
I cry at commercials on TV.
I get it, but turtle in a tank. I was like, turtle in a tank.
It was special. I don't know what to tell
and
you.
then you don't know what to do when she's crying. You're like, "Are you okay?"
Well, he was like, he totally didn't expect it.
Are you okay? What do I need to do? I was like, nothing. I'm good. It's fine.
Yeah.
No, give me a minute.
Yeah.
Sucker, you are extra. Look at you. Look at you right now.
He's like, excuse me. Excuse me.
You get slapped by turtles at work, get slapped by a dog at home.
Yep. Ridiculous.
Yeah, so next week, guys, we'll be back at some point next week. With somebody. I'll figure it. I got a week to figure it out. So we'll be back next week. Amanda, hang out for a minute. Everybody else.
Okay.
We'll see you. Go to Herp's Conroe in 2 weeks. You'll see me at least. Katie may or may not be there. Come by, see me. Come by, buy a snake. Repticon in 3 weeks. Come by, see me. Come by and buy a snake. 2, 3, 5, whatever you want. And then that's it. That's all I got. So good night, everybody. See y'all next week.
All right. Thank you, guys.
They could still.